The dust storm on Kepler 442b wasn't supposed to happen for another 3 solar cycles. But nature, as Max had learned in his 20 years of ranching on this frontier world, didn't care much for human schedules. He guided his weathered truck down the settlement's main road, squinting through the orange haze that had rolled in an hour ago. Most folks had already secured their properties and hunkered down. Max was doing his final check of the outer perimeter when he saw her. A Valerian woman stood at the edge of the road, her iridescent skin dulled by the coating of rust-colored dust. 3 small children clung to her expensive robes that were now torn and filthy. Max recognized her immediately. Everyone in the settlement knew Ziara. She'd arrived 6 months ago with an entourage, purchased the largest residence in a town, and proceeded to treat the human colonists like servants. Now she stood alone, abandoned by her staff with nowhere to go. Max pulled up beside her and rolled down his window. The wind howled between them. "Get in my truck right now," he said simply. Ziara's violet eyes widened. Her translator implant flickered as it processed his words. I have no currency to pay you, human." "Didn't ask for payment. Storm's getting worse. Get in." She hesitated, her pride visibly warring with her desperation. The smallest child, barely a cycle old by Valerian standards, whimpered against her side. That sound made the decision for her. Max helped load the children into the back seat where they huddled together, their large eyes reflecting fear and confusion. Ziara climbed into the passenger seat with the stiff dignity of someone unaccustomed to accepting help. The drive to Max's ranch took 15 minutes that felt like hours. The storm battered the truck's reinforced hull, and visibility dropped to nearly zero. Max navigated by instinct and the faint readings from his dashboard sensors. Instruments. He'd calibrated himself after the fancy automated systems had failed 3 years back. "Why are you helping us?" Ziara finally asked, her voice barely audible over the wind's roar. Max kept his eyes on the road. "Because you needed help." "But I was not kind to your people." "Nope, you weren't," Max agreed. "Doesn't mean I'm gonna let you and your kids die in a dust storm." His ranch appeared through the haze like a fortress. The main house was a converted habitat module, reinforced with locally sourced materials. Max had built most of the additions himself: the expanded living quarters, the storm shelter, the greenhouse that kept his crops alive through Kepler's harsh seasons. He ushered them inside quickly. The children stumbled in, coughing from the dust. Ziara looked around the modest interior with something like wonder, as if she'd never seen a home that was actually lived in rather than displayed. "Bathrooms, down the hall," Max said, already moving toward his supply closet. "Get yourselves cleaned up. I'll find some clothes that might fit." While they cleaned up, Max prepared the guest quarters, rooms he'd built hoping his sister and her family might visit someday, though they never had. He pulled out blankets, activated the heating units, and checked the air filtration system twice. When Ziara emerged wrapped in one of his old shirts that hung like a dress on her slender frame, she looked smaller somehow, vulnerable, human almost, despite her alien features. "Your children hungry?" Max asked. She nodded, and for the first time her composure cracked. "I don't know what I'm going to do, my family. They severed my accounts when I refused an arranged union. My staff left when the money stopped flowing. I thought I could manage on my own, but you can't eat pride," Max finished. "Come on, let's get some food in those kids." Over the next few hours, as the storm raged outside, Max's small ranch house filled with unfamiliar sounds. Children's laughter, tentative at first, then genuine, as Max showed them his collection of earth animals in holographic form. Ziara's quiet questions about his crops, his life, his choices. "Why do you stay here?" she asked as they sat in his kitchen, watching her children sleep peacefully in the living room. "This planet is harsh. You could return to Earth, live comfortably." Max poured her more tea, a blend he grew himself. "This is home now. Yeah, it's hard, but it's honest work. And out here, people need each other. Can't afford to be picky about who you help." Ziara stared into her cup. "On my world, among my caste, We were taught that accepting help was weakness, that needing others meant you had failed. That's a lonely way to live. Yes, she whispered. Yes, it is. The storm lasted 3 days. During that time, Ziara learned to feed Max's livestock, helped repair a section of greenhouse paneling damaged by debris, and taught her children to play human card games Max had brought from Earth. She watched Max work, efficiently, tirelessly, without complaint, and began to understand what she'd missed in her previous life of luxury. On the 4th morning, when the sky cleared to its usual amber hue, Ziara stood at Max's front door, ready to leave, but unsure where to go. You got a place to stay? Max asked. She shook her head. Greenhouse needs tending, he said, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. Room and board in exchange for work, if you're interested. Ziara looked at her children, then back at Max. Why would you do this? Max adjusted his hat, already heading outside to check on his animals. Because that's what humans do. We help each other. We build communities. We make family out of strangers. He paused at the door. Besides, those kids deserve a chance to grow up somewhere safe. And you deserve a chance to learn who you are when nobody's watching. As Max walked into the morning light, Ziara felt something shift inside her. She'd lost everything, her wealth, her status, her certainty. But standing in the doorway of a humble rancher's home on a frontier world, she realized she might have found something far more valuable. She'd found humanity,